What's up, everybody? Welcome to Marketplace Gem Lowballers. It's Brad and Jay. I don't have any stories today. I'm just here with my piercing good looks. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Jay. He has a bit of a longer story today, so have at it.
Oh yeah, I've got a grade A F story for you, and we'll just use the F for, well, you know. I actually just watched a video on YouTube yesterday where a guy was talking about he traded a Cutlass for, I think it was Pontiac Fiero with some kind of twin cam V6 swapped into it, and he was debating back and forth if it was a good trade deal or whatnot. And it also kind of just refreshed some of my thoughts on trading on Facebook Marketplace. Now, you can say this is my fault or the other guy's guilty. It doesn't matter either way because it's history, but it's also a very good learning curve on Facebook Marketplace when it comes to vehicles, because probably 95% of what I buy off Marketplace is vehicle related, some way, shape, or form. But basically today's story is the story of the 12-valve Cummins of death. And the death part basically comes to my wallet and bank account. So the real story comes down to, I've had about 3 or 4 12 valves over the years. One of them was an automatic, the rest of them have all been 5-speed trucks. Awesome trucks. If you ever had a 12-valve P-pump, great truck. But basically this story comes down to is I was doing a trade deal after trade deal after trade deal trying to work up to get what I want. If you've seen Tom's Refurb channel, you know what he does, kind of a similar situation. Anyways, so what I did is I ended up with a really clean 79 Chevy pickup. It was a small block Chevy, 4-speed, 3/4 2-wheel drive. It was a long box, but somebody had put a flatbed on it at some point. It had a cattle pusher on the front, if you know what that is. Previous owner put cab corners, rockers in it. If you know the square bodies, they all rot out. What can you do? But anyways, it had nice paint on it, all new tires and rims, brakes. I mean, just an overall very nice quality older Chevy truck. I mean, it literally needed nothing. I mean, you could hop in it and go. Anyways, so this is where the real fuck story comes into play. I came across the 97 Dodge 12-valve 5-speed 4-wheel drive, regular cab, long box. Had a 5th wheel in the back of it. I could see it had traction bars in one of the pictures, and then other pictures it was gone, which made me a little nervous to begin with, because if they had traction bars on her, you know, they're getting a little carried away with the throttle every now and then. But anyways, I've been talking to this guy back and forth a handful of times, and he was kind of interested in doing a trade for the square body for the Cummins title for title. Long story short, he marked the truck sold, it went off Marketplace, the deal never came together, and then randomly out of the blue he messaged me, he's like, hey, my deal fell apart, are you still interested? And I said, yeah, sure. So he came over the following day, took a look at my truck, I took a look at his truck, he only lives maybe 10 minutes from me, something like that. And I happened to notice it's leaking a little bit of oil, but you know, all them Dodges, they all do. But anyways, looked pretty decent. I mean, the frame was nice on it. The body had some rust. I mean, we're in southeast Wisconsin, it's pretty common, but nothing out of this world bad. Cab corners had a little crunchy spot to them, rockers were a little crunchy. Cab mounts, everything were very nice on it yet. Clutch seemed to grab good, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking the truck over like I should have. But anyways, we did the deal on it. I got the truck, I got the title, and seemed like everybody was happy. Well, about a day or two later, I mean, the guy messaged me and he goes, hey, you said this truck's got a 350 in it and it's only a 305. Now, that was my mistake. I should have confirmed that it was a 350. I was told by the previous owner, who I know, that there was a 350 swapped into it. Anyways, that was the biggest complaint on his end, all right? I had only drove that Dodge literally around the block, and it had been sitting in my driveway because I hadn't went to the DMV and titled it yet. So a few days later, I went over to the DMV, registered the truck, put the plates on it, and I literally went for a 5-minute drive in this thing. And if you know the Dodges, the dowel pin issue, I was told when we did the deal, this truck had the KDP fixed in it. Shocker here, guess what? It was not fixed. Not only was it not fixed, the dowel pin fell out, and it wiped out the timing cover, of course, because there's no room. It trashed both gears in the timing cover. And you want to talk about an oil leaking nightmare of a mess. Oh boy. And if we thought that's all that was wrong, boy was I in for a rude awakening. So I get the truck home. I had a couple friends look at it. Neither one of them really wanted to mess with it. So I took it to a place just 15, 20 minutes from here. His name's Harvey, very detailed diesel repairman. And I said, can you give me an idea what it's going to cost to fix this? And he said, sure, drop it off and we'll get it around here. Anyways, a few days go by, he calls me up and he goes, I got bad news for you. He's like, stop over. I'm like, okay. I stop over after work and we're looking at it, and he's like, we're gonna have to pull this front end off. We gotta pull the timing cover, some accessories, pull the cam out. He's like, it's a pretty thorough job to do. I said, well, other than that, it seems to run decent, so just, have at it, man. So I think the first bill was what, maybe like $2,000, something like that. And we got it all done, and he says to me, he goes, hey, I happen to notice that some of the valve covers are leaking on this thing. Would you like me to throw a set of gaskets on there? He's like, I'm not even going to charge you for it. He goes, I'm already in there, so, we'll take care of it. Just order the parts. I said, sure, no problem. So I ordered them up. And we thought that was going to be, the end of the nightmare, right? Well, no, not at all. He calls me the next day and he says, Jay, I got more bad news for you. And I said, great, that's just what I wanted to hear. He's like, you just got to stop over. And he's an older guy, he's not real good with the phones. And so I stop over there, and so this truck, at some point, the original motor was pulled out of it, and somebody put a truck pulling motor in this thing. And they had machined the block to accept, I'm not sure if those were 14, I think they might have been 14 millimeter head studs. They were bigger than the standard ARP studs. And we could not find these ARP or these aftermarket studs. Come to find out, there was a guy, I think he was in Indiana or something, Big Pumper Mike or something his name was. He makes these at his shop, something like that. Anyways, we ended up having to buy 3 studs from him because some clown broke one of them somehow, I don't even know how, broke one of the studs off in the block and cut 2 of them off this truck, and had pulled the head off it for, whatever reason, which we ended up finding out later on, the head had multiple cracks in it too. So if the stud kit wasn't an issue already, I think the stud kit for that thing was like $1,800, $2,000, something like that. Then we had to do a head gasket, obviously. And then we got the head sent off to, I think it was PAX in Janesville. And they tested it, and guess what? It's cracked. So we end up having to buy a new cylinder head for the truck. And then after we had gotten that, Harvey had notified me that, hey, these have the bigger studs in the motor, the head needs to be machined to accept them too. So, I think the cylinder head was like 1,800, 2 grand, too. I mean, it was like 2 grand every time he called me. And so basically, we got the head back a few weeks later, and we got it all put together, and we finally got the basics all sorted out on this truck. And I finally, after I think we were around $13,000. I know I'm an idiot. I know, you don't even have to tell me. We got it all sorted out. Harvey had asked me to stop by the shop, and he says to me, he goes, "I forgot to ask you, did you ever look into the VIN on that truck?" And I said, "No, I didn't look at it." And he's like, "Well, I was just wondering because I happened to notice the hood on the truck was different than what was on the VIN number." Something like that it was. I think it might have been I think it was the little tag that says like your gear ratio and all that stuff on there. It said on that one it was like a 2001 or something, and the truck is supposed to be a 97. So we thought, well, maybe, it just had the hood changed on. I mean, truck's old, might have been a fender bender or something, who knows. Come to find out, that truck had like a different box on it. The doors had been swapped at some point. The fenders had been swapped. The hood had been swapped. Basically, I think what this entire truck was basically a pile of parts that somebody just kind of slapped together and made a truck out of. The whole VIN thing, we got it straightened out. That's not something that I'm going to advertise all over the internet, but we did go to the DMV, we went through the state, we got that all sorted out. That was a whole other mess that doesn't need to be advertised on the internet. But anyways, once we got that all taken care of, I finally was out driving the truck around, and it seemed to be a pretty solid rig after all that. And I think it was maybe about 2 weeks after I got this thing back and I'm out driving it around, I happened to notice the blow-by tube one day. I'm at the fuel station with it, and man, that thing is just, the blow-by tube is just smoking like crazy on that thing. And I'm like, man, this old truck must have had one hell of a hard life. I know there's a lot of guys online that say it's normal or whatever. I think mine might have been a little more than your normal case for blow-by. However, this thing had the 4K governor springs in it. This thing still pulled really, really good and hard. It was a fast little truck for what it was. And then, as the story progresses here, I literally, like maybe about a month and a half after I got it done, I was on my way home from work with it, and I all of a sudden felt like the front end of the truck was coming apart going down the road. If you ever had like the death wobble in any of the Jeeps or some of the older Chevy trucks, I think they did it too. It's literally what it felt like. And I pulled off the side of the road, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And I get out of the truck, and everything looked fine. And what it was is the left front wheel bearing came apart going down the road. Had to get the truck towed back. I got it fixed, taken care of, whatever. But I guess what I'm getting at here is when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, it can be a great thing, but it also can be a real nightmare. And this is just one of those nightmares. There's thousands and thousands of them out there. I know there is that we don't know about. But I just love how some people take a great offense to something so small as the truck being a 305 instead of a 350, and then you look at the nightmare mess that I ended up with. Regardless if the Dodge was worth a little more than that old Chevy was, that old Chevy, at least I never heard no complaints about that thing, and I seen it going down the road all the time. While my truck was ripped apart for what, half a year, waiting to get everything done on. We were having issues finding parts for it at the time, and just a real mess.
Spent like $15,000 on it.
Oh yeah, it was a ton of money, man. It was a ton of money. But and if you think that you learn from your mistakes on Facebook, you don't always learn. I never do. I mean, I usually go from one headache right to another. That's just,
Definitely.
you know, these vehicles seem to find me. I don't know why that is, but they do. I mean, another prime example, not to get too sidetracked, that Volkswagen Beetle. I've had that thing for 4 years now. I mean, that thing has been a pain in the ass too, but not so much that the car was the problem. It's the other people that, you know, you try to subcontract work out to. I didn't really want to do the turbo, if I'm being honest. I don't want to do the turbo on it. And to get sidetracked a little bit on that, I did hire that mobile mechanic off Facebook Marketplace. Guy did a phenomenal job. He was here maybe altogether 6-7 hours, something like that. The turbo swapped out. It's not leaking nothing. It's running great. I mean, couldn't ask for a better guy. But to get back to that whole truck story, when you try to learn and not learn with things, we're going to go off the rails a little bit on this one. I made a deal, and some people cringe at it, and that's okay, because like I said, I don't learn. I ended up trading it for a 2003 6-liter Power Stroke, crew cab, short bed, 4-wheel drive. It was studded, deleted, all the, you know, the fickum had been fixed in it. Really nice truck. The only thing that was wrong with it that I was aware of at the time was the steering in it was a little sloppy. Gearbox was pretty well wore. Had them giant tires, you know, wears that shit out. But not to get too far into that story, but we made a trade deal on that Dodge. I told him all the stuff about it. I was really transparent with it. And we made a trade, and we hauled that Power Stroke home. A buddy of mine did. And I only had that truck for maybe about 2-3 months, something like that. I threw it on Marketplace. And this is why I always say this is always a mess on Marketplace. You know, it just, sometimes you have a good time, sometimes you don't. And I finally had a guy message me out of the Twin Cities and say, hey, I want to come down next Saturday and buy that truck. And I was like, okay, buddy, you know, no problem. Well, long story short, he showed up. And of course, he could speak a little bit of English, not much, but a little bit. It was actually his buddy that wanted it, that he was with him. Asked me, can I take the truck for a ride? Sure. Hour later, the guy shows back up, and they were down at the old Quick Trip getting some road beers. Yeah. Anyways, to say that I was pissed off is an understatement. That they were gone for an hour with my truck and weren't answering my text or calls at the time. If you let anybody test drive your shit, either A, go with them, throw an Apple tag on it, make sure it's got some kind of GPS tracker, something if you don't ride with them on that truck so you know where it's at. Because I mean, I was literally like 30 seconds away from calling the state cop that lives down the road from me. But anyways, to get to the end of all this trading bullshit, that same truck, the Ford, I'd say it's been, well, yeah, we got rid of that truck back around November, I believe it was. So let's see, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So about 6.5, 7 months later, something like that, I got a certified letter in the mail. And I was like, uh-oh, what is this coming? I got that informed delivery, if you know what that is. And anyways, it was a letter from the Twin Cities. I opened it up, and that Power Stroke that I had sold to the guy was an impound lot at, I don't remember what the name of the impound lot was. Not that it really matters. But anyways, I guess the truck had been abandoned somewhere, and they had towed it into their impound lot. And they were trying to get, I think it was like $200-300, something like that, out of me. So I guess another point to this is all these months later, dude still had not registered the truck. And long story short, we ended up finding out, well, I should say I ended up finding out, because I tried messaging him on his Facebook and he never got back to me. He was deported. So I guess that'd be a good reason why he got the truck impounded. Nobody was around. Maybe he had the only key for it too. I don't know. Because I know when I sold it, there was only one key to it. So yeah, So, I mean, other than that, I think that's about all we've got for today. I did have a few marketplace pickups this week. I picked up a set of, I think they were 84, 85, something like that, C4 Corvette wheels for the 99 TDI Beetle we're going to put on there. I think if you know for sure what the spacers are offhand, let me know. I believe the Beetle lug pattern is a 5x100, and the GM Vet wheels, I think those are like 5x4 3/4, something like that. But I was trying to figure out if I needed a 20 or 25 millimeter spacer between the hub and the rim. If any of you guys know for sure what size I need, shoot me a comment down and let me know. I'm thinking I'm going to go with a 25 either way, just to get them out a little further. I'm sure within a few more days we'll have some more great deals coming along. I'm still dealing, and I know it's an ongoing problem, I'm still dealing with messaging people and they just don't get back to you. I don't know what that's all about. I know it happens to you too. I don't know. It's weird. And follow up, there was a red TDI Beetle that I was trying to buy last week. No title, want it for parts. Anyways, I offered the guy $600 to drop it off. I live an hour away from him, and read it, never replied. Finally sold it like a day ago, something like that. You know, people are something else. I did pick up a brand new Ryobi pressure washer the other night for like 50, 80 bucks, something like that. And it was still like brand new in the box. I mean, that was a really good deal in my opinion. So you can get good deals out there, but anyways, have a good 4th of July weekend. If you get any good killer deals out there, let me know what you got. If you got ripped off, I want to hear about that too.
Definitely.
Yeah, and if you blow your hand off with some fireworks, I'd love to see some pictures of it. Not really,
No.
but I thought it sounded kind of cool. You know? And I saw the Jackass 5 movie. Was it the 5? Well, whatever. Jackass Best and Last, whatever it was called, something like that. I thought it was stupid. But Johnny Knoxville getting clobbered by the bull at the very end, that was the best part of the movie, my opinion, of course. So, you got anything else you want to add to that, Brad?
Well, if you have any projects you're working on, I want to see them. Or your classic cars that you're driving around, beating on, whatever you have, post them. Let's see them.
Yeah, if you got an AMC Gremlin or an AMC Pacer, I definitely want to see that junk. I love that crap. I mean, I don't care how ugly and rusty it is or how shitty it is. I love looking at that garbage. So don't be shy, guys. I love it.
Post them up.
Oh man, some guy just flew by in a Beamer. Yeah, yeah. Everybody's out beating on their shit boxes this weekend. Make sure you too. We'll talk with you guys later. Have a good one.